Walmart for the win, okay? Like, we got our own little Coolbana.
Yes.
And I am actually obsessed. It's a pretty intimate one, so it's just for two, which is perfect.
Perfect for two.
But the thing that I'm even more obsessed with is this baby. This little table here. They've got their own little like cup holders and phone holders.
Yeah, I like a little addition on it.
Me too.
I think it's really fun to kind of, because I'm definitely someone who likes to read on her phone at the beach, so it's like I have access to that.
I know. I'm so obsessed, and I'm so glad we got here early because now we got like a good spot.
Yep.
We're enjoying the views, and we're just like ready to now relax and just have a day at the beach. We're heading off into town for some lunch.
Yes.
Our friend Maddie actually recommended this spot.
Yes.
It's like her favorite spot on the island. What's it called again? It's like Co-op.
Something like that. Sorry.
But what's cool about it is that they have sandwiches and amazing frosé. So I'm really excited to have it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna have one. It's so hot today.
Yeah. What a morning. Oh my God. So here's the thing. Our goal while we're here in Charleston is to like check out all the different beaches, since they have a lot of different islands. So we're like, you know what? Even though we are obsessed with Sullivans, we were like, you know what? There is an island next to Sullivan's called Isle of Palms, which they call
like
IOP.
Yeah, IOP.
They call it, the locals call it IOP. So we decided to check it out today. And can I just say, we are early birds. We like to get to the beach super early and spend the whole day. If you couldn't catch on with most of the vlogs, anytime we're at the beach, we're there from like dusk till dawn. It has been somewhat of a challenge to park, and this is like because of the convenience, because we want to walk places, we had to pay for parking, which for me already gives you like an X, because I hate that more than anything. Like usually we always can find free parking, and there is free parking, but by the time we got here, which was 7:30 a.m., which is I think fairly early enough.
Like I think that gave us, like I like figured I was okay, so people will be here, but I'm not gonna have a hard time parking.
We had a difficult time, and something that we haven't mentioned yet in yesterday's vlog was that parking here is notoriously a little difficult, and it's not what we're used to in the sense of you can't park on the street. You have to park like on a grassland area, or you get a really bad fine.
So I think even the locals were like, they really do take that seriously, where they're like really like, be careful. And I was like, good to know.
Good to know. So we just want to make sure that obviously we're legally parked, and the stresses of trying to find the free parking just kind of outweighs the kind of almost fine we could get. So we wanted to pay for parking today.
Today was paying for parking, which I'm gonna be transparent, pretty much an all day parking was about 30 bucks.
I know.
Which is like not my favorite, especially when you know you can get free.
As beach goers, 30 to me is a bit steep because we go to the beach. I love the beach, but I don't want to spend $30. But I mean, I don't know. But I mean, to be fair, it's also worth it. We're gonna be doing
I'm paying
it.
Also for the convenience, like where we parked was like right by the beach. So like again, like do it with what you want to. But you know, when you're here for a short amount of time, I think that like that's worth it, I guess, you know.
Me too. our third beach today,
yes.
Folly Beach, and we're already impressed of how different each one is.
Yeah, like I expected, like, you know, I mean, granted there's similarities out there's not, but every time we've like driven through for like the first moment, we're like, wow, this feels different than the last one that we've been to.
Yeah, so I'm glad that we were taking this excursion of like, let's go to different beaches and islands, because as you already know, like our hearts are in Sullivan Island right now, but we really like Folly Beach so far.
Yeah, like it's really
cool.
accessible so far with like getting around and like being able to like park and stuff. So I'm excited to kind of just like have the whole day, you know what I mean, and like really get a feel for it.
Yeah, we're gonna go to a cafe now and enjoy the day.
Yeah.
Okay, so total side note, the last time when we were at Isle of Palms, it was super windy, so we had to like dig deeper than usual, and I have war wounds from it using, I don't even know if you could see it, it's much better now, but I used my knuckles like an idiot, because it was faster at the time, and then I realized my hands were bloody, and I was like, that was so stupid. And we need to go get a shovel, so we are here, and we finally found a store, and they have a shovel. So I think we can do, I think the little ones are fine.
I think that will work.
Is there a color we want?
Let's do blue or green because it matches our thing.
Okay, I think blue is fine.
That's cute, that's cute.
Yay!
A year in history.
Oh my god. Actually, do you have any idea? I fucking love this. Sorry, I shouldn't curse. I love this song, and I did no idea it was actually the year that I didn't know it either. And also, is Jasmine not one of our favorites? She's our favorite princess. And I'm like, well, this all really tracks for us.
Yeah. 92 babies.
Having our last beach day.
No.
I know, I'm pretty sad about it, but we're going to our favorite one, Sullivan.
Oh, I know. It's literally like, out of the 3 that we've been to, obviously if you've been watching the vlog, you know this is obviously our favorite. It's definitely on the more quieter side. Not as many amenities, but we love what it has here though, honestly.
I know,
like it's probably my favorite sandwich shop. We love Co-op, and honestly the beach.
We're going there now.
Oh, we're literally getting lunch right now, so we're gonna have some sandwiches and relax for the rest of the day.
So to wrap up this video, we decided we wanted to do a little quick breakdown of the pros and cons of each beach.
Yeah.
As someone who has grown up in it, like by beaches, I have a certain standard, or my personality likes a certain type of beach.
Yeah.
So take these pros and cons with your personality, and you might like a beach more than we have. So this is our takeaways from all the beaches that we went to.
Yes. So here's the thing. We also wanted to give a couple beach tips that we did not know until we got there.
Yes.
So something that we definitely like, we've already talked about it, but I'm going to emphasize again since this is kind of a wrap up, is the parking.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. They have a specific rule about parking, like not on the street, it's like on the grass.
Yes.
And so you kind of have to like know that beforehand. If you do not do that, you get $1,000 fine. And they take
is
that like
wild.
very seriously. Like every local we talked to, they were like, they take it seriously. Do not do that, you know?
Yes.
And then obviously there are other places that has paid parking, which will break down in each location.
Yes.
Another really good, if you are driving tip, there is only one road to get to these beaches. So if you don't get there early and you get stuck in traffic, you get really stuck there for hours.
Yes.
We usually would leave around like 7:30 in the morning, and it takes
Yes.
about like 20-ish minutes from us.
From the
to get to
center of like Charleston, let's say.
Exactly.
That's the epicenter. Let's go with that.
And we never had a problem. We never really got to get stuck in traffic. We actually usually stop for coffee,
Yeah.
and then we would go to the beach. So keep that in mind when you're planning to kind of get to and from the beach. Usually they set around after 9 o'clock. If you're going on a weekend, you're probably going to get stuck in traffic. So be warned.
Try to get there around 7:38. Like be at
Yeah.
the beach by that time if you can.
I
'Cause
know
we
that's
would leave
early, but it's so worth it.
Well, if you want a good spot.
Yes.
So now we're going to break down each beach, like I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
the pros and the cons. I'm going to start off with our least favorite and work our way towards our favorite.
And it wasn't that it was bad. It's just
No.
not our style is
Yes.
all why we're rating it the way that we are.
And here's the thing, you can take away with these tips or personal preferences with what you want it to be, honestly. But for me, my least favorite was
Isle of
IOP,
Palms.
Isle of Palms.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me, and only because it was definitely on the more upscale. And it's
Yeah.
not that I don't enjoy the finer things in life, but personally, it just wasn't my type of beach. It
Yeah.
was super expensive. And again, as someone who's grown up enjoying the beach, I know my prices, and I was like, this just seems a little bit much
Yeah.
for my personality.
Yeah. So here's the thing that's the positive, though, of IOP and why
Yes.
it is actually a pretty popular beach for most people is the fact that it actually has a lot of great restaurants.
Yes.
So if you're looking for restaurants where you have a beachfront view or really good cocktail hour, that's honestly the place you actually should go.
Yes.
It's really great in that aspect. They do have a lot of parking, but the parking's expensive, just a heads up.
Yes.
But they do have really great like walkthroughs and things like that if you're just like looking to like go down a boardwalk or do other
Yes.
things. So they do have a lot of amenities, hence why I think that that location is the most expensive.
And it's popular
It's
for
popular.
a reason.
It's
It is
popular.
popular for a reason. It just wasn't for me, honestly. Like I wasn't the biggest fan of that place. And also for me too, I felt it was just a little bit too narrow of a beach for me.
Yeah, I felt like there
personally.
was by around like 11, 12, like I felt like a lot of people were on top of us.
People were on top of me. And as someone who just goes to the
like
beach for like
relax.
a zen moment, like I'm not trying to get on, I don't want to be next to somebody that closely.
Mm-hmm.
I could hear everyone's conversation. So that's when you know it's too crowded for my liking. So
Yeah.
that's something that, but it also could be, I'm also making this tip as well. We were in a central location. So it could be because
if
of
we
that.
had maybe like gone
Driven
further
further.
away from where all the restaurants are, maybe it wouldn't have been as packed. So it might have just been where we parked
Yes.
and where we stayed.
Yes.
So maybe it was less crowded if we moved a little further away.
Yeah.
But we also wanted the amenity to walk around and experience
Yes.
those restaurants and the boardwalk and other things that IOP has to offer. So
Yes.
if you don't kind of park in the main area, it's
can't
a far
enjoy it.
walk. It is
Yeah.
not close in my opinion.
No.
You would have to get back into your car and drive, and you'd probably lose your parking if you did that.
And you'd have to pay for another parking spot. So
Yeah.
you're trying to pick a spot that,
that
you
you're
can
going to
enjoy
stay there.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, a nice fun fact, if you have a dog, you actually can take it to IOP, but it has to be leashed.
Yes.
So that's actually one of the beaches that you can have a dog, but they have that sort of requirement there.
Second runner up,
Yes.
okay, is
Folly Beach.
Yes.
Which I think might surprise a lot of people.
Because I think that is the most popular one.
Yeah, and for good reason.
Absolutely
and I'm not
loved
saying that it's, even though it's second place, does not mean it's not a great place. I just want to be really clear on that.
Yeah.
Folly Beach, the reason I'm putting it as number 2 and not 1 is only because of how narrow, I should say, the beach is in itself. So, funny story is that in the beginning of the day, the beach is actually pretty huge.
It's like
and I
good
loved it.
size.
It was a great size. Throughout the evening, the tide is going up and it almost goes close to the dunes.
Like we moved our
umbrella
4 times.
4 times. So that was a little stressful trying to beat the tide. So that's the biggest reason
So
it's
my
number
tip,
2.
if you go to Folly Beach, actually park by the dunes.
Yes.
Like that would actually be my number 1 tip that I did not know until we got
put
there.
your stuff more towards the back because you could tell who the locals were and who the visitors
they were there
were.
initially.
Because they were, when we got to the beach, there were people right by the dunes. And I'm like, all right, whatever, like some people like that.
Yeah.
I don't. I like being right by the waves. But not that close to the
No,
waves.
no,
I
we
don't
would
wanna
have
be
been
in them.
submerged.
I would have been submerged. It was kind of wild. So that is the reason it's number 2. But I do want to say the one thing I love about Folly Beach is the casualness. But it had in my opinion, had a really fun main street. It had so many restaurants, so many bars, so many shopping. Like you can't get bored there.
Like I think it's a really good location if you are going to be here for the first time and you want to pick one beach. If you only could
agree.
do one beach, I actually think Folly Beach makes sense, and I understand why it's popular. It
Yes.
has great breweries, it has great food, and honestly, it has more of a laid back, in my opinion, than IOP.
I actually think it actually is a night scene. So if you want to go out and meet people, Folly Beach actually, I feel like sets the scene for you much better than the other beaches in my
and
opinion.
if you are a New Yorker, you're going to understand this reference. It was giving Fire Island vibes.
Yes.
Which is a very high compliment in my opinion.
Yes, I agree.
And also, something that's great, actually, no, now I would say a negative slightly. Folly Beach, there are no dogs. No dogs allowed.
That was sad.
Which is upsetting to me because I really love seeing the dogs frolic through the beach. So if you have a dog that's actually beach, you cannot take it to.
Yeah.
Because other beaches actually do allow that access. But Folly Beach was one of that you cannot.
And saving the best for last.
Yes.
Sullivans. I loved Sullivan.
Because here's the thing, and again, this is definitely about preference.
This
is
it's a
personal
personality
preference.
thing. Yeah.
I like a wider beach. That way no one's on top of me. I like things that are a little bit more quiet because I kind of go to the beach to relax.
Yes.
So I absolutely love this beach. And also the ocean, the way that the tides would come in, I don't know if it's just
I don't know if we just kept getting
we
lucky.
kept getting lucky when we got there, but the ocean would the tide would kind of go out. So it created these sort of pockets of
little pools.
So you could literally, like, a lot of people were doing this, just sitting in the ocean, and like so were we.
It wasn't
so
like,
much fun.
It was just so delightful and dog friendly.
Yeah, now
but,
that one, no leashes.
No leashes.
They just let them roam.
It looked like dog heaven, and
Yeah.
it was dog heaven, and it was just so nice. The vibes were so casual, so lovely.
Yeah.
And I was obsessed. And for us, parking wasn't that difficult.
No.
But again, I also think it's because we go to the beach very early.
Yeah, I think if we went any later, we would have a problem.
Yeah.
But we got really lucky because we would notably make sure we got there by like 7:38, and
Yes.
we never had a problem parking.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say, out of the 2 locations that we talked about earlier, it has the least amount of amenities.
Yeah.
Like if you're looking for a lot of restaurants, a town to walk through, this is not your beach.
No.
Honestly, like it definitely has, I will say, our favorite sandwich spot.
Yes, the co-op.
Shout out.
We went
Freaking
so many
loved.
times. It had what you needed. It didn't have
yeah.
anything excessive about it. So it had
Yeah.
maybe a few restaurants.
No restaurant was like beachfront. Like you would
No.
just be eating at a restaurant that had like, good seafood and things like that.
So for us, we would get takeout, like co-op. We'd get like a sandwich and we bring it back to the beach for the view. Like I just wanted something quick so I could enjoy the beach. But
Yeah.
again, that's my personality. We usually bring food, drinks with us. We never
Yeah.
like seek other places to do it unless maybe we're going to a dinner. But
Yeah.
this place has a few great restaurants.
Yeah, no, really lovely.
It's not that it doesn't, but it does have the least amount of amenities.
Yeah.
But with that said, for me, it was the best one because I loved the beach. That's what I'm there for. So
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the space. No one was on top of me. People were super friendly, let me pet their dogs, and
Yeah.
the water was perfection.
Gorgeous.
And it was easy to get parking and it was free. And that
Yeah.
to me is just like
I
you can't beat
that.
So with all that said, Whether you like a little bit bougier, like IOP, or you like Folly, that's a happy middle, or Sullivan's, that's a bit more casual, laid back, but bigger beaches, you decide what's best for you. We're big fans of honestly all three for different reasons. Sullivan's is clearly one of our favorites, but a beach is amazing, and Charleston has so many great places to visit. And if you have the time, I recommend checking them all out too. But if you're limited time, you decide which one's your favorite.